Hey everybody, Danny Maude here. Thanks for joining us. If you found yourself with driver, sometimes slicing it or maybe even hooking it or struggling with your strike, have you ever considered potentially a change in your grip? One of the things I find is that some of the golfers that I'm coaching just have some slight errors in the way they hold their left hand and their right hand, and in doing so, that in itself causes all the problems. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the same for everyone, but I want you to use this video as a little reference guide, because you might be trying to change your swing, you might try to do all this complicated stuff, when a simple change in your grip is possibly that's all that's needed to improve your shots. Now, I'm going to share with you in this video exactly how to do that. Now, before I do that, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. Just press that little bell button next subscribe button, you get notified every time I release a video just like this one. Plus, you'll never have to remember a thing. I'll put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below. Okay, great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to help you to discover whether your grip could be influencing the club head speed you're generating, the strike that you generate, and also the accuracy too. We'll start with how the grip influences your accuracy, then we'll move on to how it influences your speed, and then we'll move on to how it influences your strike. So if you slice the golf ball, what I'm seeing so often with golfers, and you want to check this out, is your lead hand too high in the palm? You're gripping it too high in the palm. Is it rotated too much this way? We'll talk about how you correct that in a second. Because if it is, and your hand's rotated underneath like this is naturally what we call a weak position. The hand doesn't want to be there, and when it wants to move into its strong position, it will do this, yeah? And if it rotates into its natural hanging position here, that will open up the club face almost instantly. Now, your body's super smart. If your body kind of recognizes this, so it starts to come over the top to try to square the face because of the fault with the grip. Now, you might be trying to solve all these swing issues when actually your body's doing you a favor in helping you hit that ball straight. So all I want you to watch out for is this. Check that grip first. If it's a grip issue, it could be just a simple change. If you hook the golf ball, the top hand here, your lead hand, is often sometimes maybe too much over the top. So double check that. So slicers tend to be underneath, hookers tend to be on top. So how do you form the perfect grip? All I want you to do is allow your arms just to hang down naturally. Do not do this. I see a lot of videos online talking about how to hold the grip, and they kind of get you to put it into the fingers and do this kind of thing. Well, that's great, but what tends to happen is the golfers tend to kind of look at their hand and go, and they immediately twist it and then put the club into their hand. It's far better to stand like this, let your arms just hang, and I want you to let the club fall into the fingers. So watch this, I'm going to exaggerate this. I'm standing up and I'm allowing the club to fall to the tips of my fingers like this, still allowing my arms to turn inwards, and then I simply close the grip. Nothing more complicated than that, right? I don't try and put it into fingers and stuff, because that gets people moving in all different positions. You're just simply holding the golf club. So that's your lead hand in place. Now, that is, for me, accuracy. Now, if you hook the golf ball, same principle. Often it's the trail hand here. Tends to be too far underneath the golf club. Similar, that's not a natural position, so what's going to happen? Your hand's going to want to return to natural, which is going to close the face. So how do you put the trail hand on? Exactly the same way. Let your arm just hang. And then literally look. Don't look at it. Don't try and put it in a position. Literally hold it there and then literally allow it to fall into the fingers, okay? Fingers of the hand. Then you've immediately got your grip. Simple as that. This is going to help with your accuracy, right? So now you've got the accuracy, how do you help generate some speed with this? Well, it's a similar kind of thing. You need to make sure that you have hold of the golf club, because if you don't have hold of the golf club, how can you generate speed? Now, I know we often talk about holding it lightly and loosely and what have you, but the problem is if it's too loose, you can't control this club face, right? So we need to have some form of grip on it. If you are too high in the palm, you have no grip. So again, look at this. If we can move this with both hands into the fingers, you've now got grip. You've now got hold. Which brings me on to how you interlock the hands. If you're a slightly weaker player, maybe a junior player, you want to have all of your fingers on the club. If you're a senior player who's maybe lost a bit of strength, don't try and join the hands. Keep all fingers on the club. If you're a lady golfer who's maybe struggling with a bit of speed, keep all fingers on the club. Because it gives you more grip, it allows you to generate more leverage and therefore more speed. If you have some strength and you can use that and you want to control a little bit of that, then there's a couple of ways you can join the hands. Literally put your little finger on top of your index finger here of the bottom of the hand, like this. Or what you do, you can actually interlock them where you literally just do this. Index finger at the top hand, little finger, and then literally join them together like this. Either way, doesn't matter. You can try all three. Yeah, they all are all about getting into the fingers of the hand so you've got hold of that golf club. Now, let's work on strike. How can your grip influence your strike? This is more about the structure of your arm relative to your grip. So what I see a lot of times when people are doing is when they let their arms hang here, they allow the shoulder to turn inwards, right? So what I want you to do here is this. When you're allowing your arm to hang, just put your palms facing like this, okay? And notice when our palms are facing, this trail arm literally turns inwards here. The elbow's going inwards here. And you can see here, look, this is pointing, look, directly towards you. It's not around, it's pointing straight towards you. This is super important because this is going to help us put pressure on the back of that golf ball for strike, speed. Compare that to this. This is weak, yeah? All right, so once you've formed your grip, we then want to improve our strike. So we're literally going to allow this trail arm just to fold inwards here, and we're going to keep it there. Now the danger is if you hook the golf ball, some people, hookers are often powerful, they allow the hand to also go with this. Now that it's underneath, we know it, we don't want that, it's going to want to then roll and hook. Look at this, facing you, twist, still facing, yeah? So now I'm in a position, look, where I can use all of this trail side, look, to put a pressure and strike on that golf ball. And that is it. Third and final thing, I'll leave this for you to see. So I'll literally take my stance, allow my arms just to hang, allow them to fall into position here. So I'm falling, and then look, I'm going to rise and allow my hands, let the club to rise up or drop down into my fingers of both hands here. This is crucial. This gives me the perfect angle of left and right hand. It is perfect amount of grip. I'm holding it now in the fingers of that of both hands there. I decide to use the overlap, always done it. And then from here, I'm making sure that this trail arm, look, is sat beautifully underneath. And now I am ready to go. So if you are slicing the golf ball, you are hooking the golf ball, I'm not suggesting it's 100% your grip, but you know what, rather than go through all these complicated swing changes, check your grip out first. Go through a simple routine of standing up, allowing it to fall into those fingers. And one final thing, please, please, please do not make this mistake I see with so many golfers. Maybe you've read a book and you've been told to put it in your hand in a certain way. When you do that and you overthink it, you end up kind of rotating your hand to think, oh, I've got to put it into this finger and then there, and then you rotate your hand into a position, then you grip it, yeah? This is unnatural. Allow your arms to fall from there. Then they naturally form angled forward, let them to fall into the fingers, then you'll get it right each and every single time. You don't have to worry about where it is after that point. And to finish off, often I'm asked, how tight should you be holding the golf club? Well, look, when I'm hitting driver, I'm going to be holding it naturally quite tight because look, this club's going to be generating 115 plus miles an hour club head speed. If I'm holding it loose, I've got no control over it. The secret though is this. My wrists, my elbows, my shoulders, they're oily, they're relaxed, they're ready and passive. They're loose to generate speed, but the control comes from the grip. Now, yes, with other clubs like my wedges and when I'm chipping, naturally I'm much looser. Why? Because I don't have the club head speed. I don't need to hold it as tight. I'm often asked, how tight should I hold it on a scale of 1 to 10? That's unique between me and you. You know, I couldn't actually say that. Look, we drive, it might be 6 or 7 sometimes, but that doesn't really relate to anybody. I would say, look, swing this club nice and fast and notice how tight you have to hold it. The key is to keep those wrists, elbows, and shoulders pliable, loose, so that they are ready to go. Okay, so really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Maybe share it with one of your friends who could do with a little bit of help, who's maybe struggling with a game. And you know what? Just check this out. Follow this simple routine of allowing your arms to fall here. Hold the club, allow them to then stretch up so the club falls into the fingers of the hand on both sides. Yep. Decide which grip's going to suit you based on your strength. You want to overlap, interlock, all fingers on the golf club. There's no one right way for everybody. Once you've done that, remember, strikes is going to come from good, solid arm position here. Pressure on this golf ball. Don't let it come underneath. Tuck it underneath here, nice and strong. Once you've done that, there's nothing more complicated than that, all right? So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, remember there's a free downloadable practice plan in the description box below, so you never have to remember a thing. And come and join the community if this is one of your first videos by pressing that subscribe button and the bell. It's completely free to do so I can look after your game every single week. But until next week, have a great golfing week.